Bow wow 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 boom.
Boom,
Boom, boom.
Welcome back to the Slightly Hypoxic podcast.
The only podcast saturated 94% and still dropping. Hell yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to the Slightly Hypoxic podcast. We're here with Chris, Vicente, and myself, Paul. We're making this podcast because we want to talk about our lives in EMS and try to bring some either new news to people in the field already, talk about some levity things with funny calls and stuff like that. But first, to introduce ourselves and so you guys get to know us, we're going to start off why we got into EMS and everything like that. Chris, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I'm Chris. I've been in EMS for 7 years. I'm a paramedic. I've been working at the same agency for my entire time in EMS. Before EMS, I studied nuclear engineering and decided that I wanted to be out of the office for my career. And so I made the transition to EMS 7 years ago. It's been a hell of a ride.
Now you just hold down the corner at La Jolla.
Yeah, now I just hold down the corner.
So much for touching grass.
He's working the corner.
Work in the corner, huh? No, I kind of don't run as many calls as some of the newer guys. I've been very fortunate in the last couple of years. To have a little better coverage out there.
All right. Hey, we're covering and making plays safe.
Yeah,
It's okay.
exactly.
All right, Vicente. What about you, man?
Hey guys, I'm Vicente. I've been a paramedic for the past 4-ish years or so. I originally got into EMS because I wanted to get patient care hours for PA school. Went to EMT school, decided I loved being an EMT and wanted to continue in EMS further, so I went to paramedic school. Been working with these two buffoons for the past probably 2-ish years or so. And yeah, just having a great time, loving everything about EMS.
And me, I got my EMT back in 2008, so it's been close to 2 decades I've been in and out of the field. Took a couple of years off. I've gone from EMT all the way up besides CEO, but I've done operations manager and stuff like that, and I'm currently a dispatcher for these guys at our local agency. So for many years I've seen a lot, and I guarantee they have too. So we'll get into that as well.
All right, guys, so to kick everything off, we're going to talk about really our first experiences in EMS and what it was like diving into something new as a brand new, fresh EMT, fresh dispatcher, really to capture the essence of being a newbie. Paul, you want to start?
Yeah, so one of my early on calls, it was pretty funny because in EMT school, they don't really teach you too many skills besides trauma, pretty much. So on my first call with the FDO, we had a patient that was bottom out, essentially sepsis, ALOC, everything like that. So we ended up upgrading for fire. And when I get there, so I'm on my FDO shifts for this one, and the paramedics come up to the unit. We have the patient on the gurney inside the unit and everything like that. And then the paramedic just football tosses me the IV bag and it's like, spike this. And I'm like, huh? What? And I just looked at my FT, I was like, what does he want me to do? He's like, just put it together. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, I don't know what the hell that means. So the rest of that call, he just made football jokes the whole damn time. So it was pretty funny.
I love it.
Our favorite quarterback. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, so I was about a month in to starting my first EMT job, and we got a call from mutual aid with for Orange City Fire, and it was a assault, so stage away. We got cleared to enter, so they hadn't found the person yet. So PD escorts us in. Orange City was down both an engine and an ambulance. So we were the ambulance, and Anaheim Fire was the engine that showed up. We pulled up at the same time, and Anaheim hopped out and asked me if I'm good. I didn't know what that meant at the time, so I was like, yeah, I'm good. So they said, okay, cool, and they hopped back in their engine and then they took off. So it was just me and my partner, 2 EMTs. He had probably like 4 months, I had like 1. So we go in on the call, and it's this guy who's been beaten in the back of the head with a baseball bat about 20 times by his nephew with schizophrenia. It's an open skull fracture with brain matter showing.
You're good, though. You're good.
I'm
man.
good. Yeah, I didn't know what it was yet.
You ride it all the way. Good.
Well, I did. So, the guy was still alert and oriented ×4, right? So he was still talking with us on scene, and I was, to me that didn't make sense, right? Because they tell you in school, obvious death is brain matter showing.
Yeah.
Right? not this guy. This guy was still with it.
He had some extra left over.
And I was like, oh fuck. So the only thing I knew was to get him to a trauma center. So basically scooped him up and just started driving Code 30 UCI. All I could do was just give him oxygen and just wrap his head up. By the time we got to the UCI, he was NO0, unresponsive, and I'm pretty sure he died within the next like few moments.
That,
yeah. But that was like one of my first like eye-opening calls of like, hey, I need to like figure out what I'm doing. It's not all just like transfers. It's not all just like easy calls.
Not IFT.
Where the like paramedic is gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta figure it out for yourself. Yeah.
And you're still figuring it out.
I'm still figuring it out.
It's quite apparent. Yeah, so me and my story for getting into EMS, I was probably 6 months into IFT at the time. So I was an expert at sheeting patients, an expert at moving them, right? A professional grade A.
Yep.
I had started working for a local theme park at the time, and day one with my trainer was my supervisor. And she was relatively new to being a supervisor as well, if I remember correctly. But we get dispatched to this call. It comes out as traumatic injury, right? Not thinking much of it. We really don't have any information. So my supervisor and I respond. We're on like the little 4x4 carts, you know? Yeah. And we go up to this roller coaster, right? You're thinking theme park, a lot of machinery, could be bad. We get there, and it's my supervisor's brother, and his finger is like cut off at the tip. So she starts freaking out. I start freaking out. She tells me to start going through the pack. I'm going through the pack. I can't find jack shit. So we ended up cleaning this guy's finger off and like trying to irrigate all the dirt off of it with a bottle of Dasani.
The champion of
And
waters.
let me tell you, it gets the job done. But that was a shit show. And for my first call, I was terrified.
I was terrified.
I was terrified.
I was so scared.
Gotta love that Coca-Cola, like Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
At those theme parks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ain't nobody can talk shit on Dasani.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna do call of the week. We usually are gonna probably do react at this point, usually, but we've been pretty fixed on trying to get this podcast even going to first place, doing all the background stuff. So we weren't able to do too much research. But we are either going to do some kind of EMS news story at this time, or like I said, some crazy call or video react. We'll probably do a couple of video reacts, but for now, Vicente was really excited to talk about this call.
Really
so
excited.
I was not really
He might have been
excited
half
to talk
chubbed about
about
it.
this.
He might have
call.
been the one who called 911.
Listen, it wasn't a half chub; it was a full chub.
Oh,
okay,
full chub, okay.
But you know, there's just some things that get very ingrained into your eyes, and like, you know, you close your eyes, you still see them. For me, this call, I was working in an area I will not disclose, but me and my partner, we show up on scene. It gets dispatched as a hanging. I guess I should preface by saying that first. Dispatched as a hanging. So you think, a hanging.
Yeah,
This is going to be
rough
some.
one.
This is going to be some rough shit. Anyway, we open the door. We find this guy hanging. He's choking while he's hanging. His dog is licking peanut butter out of his asshole while he's gasping for air. And you know, you hear this and you think it's not like a common or routine call. But
Well, I have a couple questions.
okay, yeah, go shoot.
Smooth or chunky?
From what I could tell, it was smooth.
Smooth.
I can't say that I got deep in there. I didn't
He
pull
didn't
up.
assess the situation.
I wasn't checking for ulcers like some of our coworkers do or
Yeah.
anything, but it looked smooth.
Smooth.
It looked smooth, but
So how do you know it was peanut butter?
the jar of peanut butter.
Oh.
The jar of peanut butter.
What brand?
It was Jif.
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 Shout out Jif.
Shout out to Jif. I know.
Looking for a sponsor.
I feel like if you're gonna eat peanut butter, if you get anything but Jif, is it even real peanut butter?
Reese's has a peanut butter.
Do they really?
Yeah, they sell in jars.
It's called diabetes in a butt jar.
Yeah. It fucking is, dude.
Anyway, you think this isn't like a routine call, but when I was in EMT school back in the day, one of my instructors told me about a very similar call. Like, the guy was hanging, dog was eating peanut butter out of his asshole. In his case, I don't know if it was smooth or chunky, but this is the thing, guys. Drop it in the chat if you guys have ever experienced that.
Yeah. We'll also have a Discord in the description too, if you guys ever want to tell your stories and or want us to talk about your guys' calls on here.
Share your peanut butter memories.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be on the show.
Oh yeah,
We're always looking for guests. There's
nothing.
another chair over there.
Yeah, and then wherever we end up lying on an actual set, but this is
Yeah.
what we're gonna do for now.
Yeah, you can
But
come
yeah.
check out Chris's apartment.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice in here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. It's pretty nice.
Should see what's behind the camera.
What's behind the camera?
There's a picture of you, buddy.
A picture of me.
It's a shrine, not a picture.
Shrine. Excuse me.
You know, this guy gave us both alcohol, but he didn't have any alcohol.
I'm just drinking
I feel,
water.
I feel like he's gonna set us up to do some weird shit tonight, guys. Everybody put an F in the chat.
We're not streaming.
It's not live, dude.
We got engagement.
I think the alcohol's already hitting them a little bit.
Not even true. Not
Yeah,
even
Okay,
true.
half beer.
Listen,
You know what Kat said, actually?
who's Cat?
What do you mean, who's Kat?
Who's Cat?
My girlfriend, Kat.
Okay, your girlfriend Cat.
Before she left for work today, said, make sure Vicente doesn't throw up in the apartment.
Oh,
She did not.
She did.
Hey, for real.
Yeah.
I don't throw up, guys.
Half a beer.
Half
Half a beer.
Listen, I don't know what they're referring to right now. I'm just trying to make a
You're a hell
podcast.
of a recruiter, I'll say that.
I'm just trying to make a podcast for the people.
Recruiter.
A recruiter.
he was drunk during the recruiting.
We're sponsored by the Marines now.
That's crowns. Come on.
Nothing ever good. Nothing ever good happens when you wing it.
Everything good happens when you wing it. So next, we're talking about early struggles we had in our careers.
Okay.
Right, so we just gave those stories about calls that we struggle with, but what are some of the non-call struggles that you guys both had when you were starting out? For me, it was paperwork. Almost all my PCRs that I was doing were getting sent back for errors when I first started out, and learning to like craft the right narrative, tell the right story was super important, both for me personally. So when I look back on those calls, I know what happened, but also a reality of our industry is for billing.
Yeah,
Right,
especially,
so-
especially on the IFT side.
Yeah.
911's a little different, so a little bit more vague, but IFT side, you have to hit that Medicare lingo.
Oof, that Medicare lingo.
And it's
Yeah.
crazy because it's something that they never teach you. It's something that they really don't emphasize in school. Maybe your FTO will
Yeah.
teach you a little
Well,
bit about it, but there's no education on it
Well,
whatsoever.
and that's the crazy thing is, so I've been out of the field for a couple of years, and then I came back, and now everything's EPCR because I'd always dealt with paper.
Mhm.
Every company I've been for, even for all of IFT, we'd spend a whole day on paperwork. But it seems like that's kind of gone out the window, and it's kind of left up to FTOs. So if the FTO isn't trained in paperwork well, then you're kind of screwed. But I don't know. It's crazy because, yeah, we used to have a whole day on orientation just on paperwork, learning it through either iChart or we use SOAP.
So
Back in the day, with is like subjective, objective, assessment,
I use soap.
and I forget what P stands for, but yeah. But it's crazy that these agencies don't. It's such a big part of it, at least IFT, that you imagine they'd put more emphasis on it. But yeah, I agree.
Well, 911 too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially when critical calls and all that, and you want to CYA for sure.
I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of agency dependent who kicks back your PCRs. Because thinking about all of my time in EMS, there's been one agency that routinely kicked back PCRs or put suggestions on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very few and very scarce at other agencies.
Yeah.
That definitely is a beast, though, because like you said, it doesn't get trained in. Like they talk about PCRs and they show you in school. They don't say anything like, "Hey, this is a PCR. If you want to read, go for it." But
Yeah.
we're not going to tell you anything about it because everyone does it different, and it's true. Everyone does do it different. So that is a really big struggle for a lot of people, and still to this day. Like
Shit.
all right, we were talking about paperwork. What do you think, Vicente?
Yeah, I feel like probably my biggest struggle is, just initially at least trying to figure out what was going on with the patient. I know for me, I was gung-ho. I was Ricky Rescue, almost like one of the employees that we have at our agency.
Yeah.
And, there was a point where if we got dispatched to a call, I was running to it. I wanted to be the first there to do everything, and I'd be clueless, not have any idea what was going on. And, a consequence of me running to every single call is that I'd be huffing and puffing when we got there. So I had to take a minute, calm down, take my inhaler a little bit,
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, those are two good ones. Mine's a little bit different. Where dealing with having a partner. You always get good and bad partners, and
Yeah.
a lot of times it's either they can't lift or they don't know what the hell they're doing and stuff like that.
Or they're Ricky Rescues.
Or yeah, they're Ricky
I
Rescues.
feel like
where-
that was directed at me a little too much.
what?
That was directed at me too much.
I've never worked with you, so how's this?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I'm your dispatcher. I don't know how you
I
work
told
in the
them
field.
stories. You want
The,
to see?
the only thing I know is you used to fatigue a lot back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Fatigue.
Fatigue.
Hell yeah, I fatigued a lot, man. I'm not trying to run these calls. That's Chris's job.
Well, you were my partner.
That's true. And you were the medic at the time. He was the B writer back
Yeah,
then.
back then.
You can handle.
Yeah, apparently you can. You got brain matter on your other
Yeah,
one.
it's fine.
Yeah. But no, it's the one best part about the job, but also can be the one the worst because you don't know who you're going to get stuck with.
Yep.
You're going to get stuck with someone that wants to sandbag and stuff like that. So just interacting and getting the best done for the patient, but then some people are like, oh no, they're fine, they're good. And it's like, wait a second, like, let's take a second look at this.
Mm-hmm.
So but at the same time, like you two, you guys work together for a long time now together, and you get that cohesion where you're like, we already know-
Cohesion.
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 Is that how it feels?
We're
just-
cohesed.
It's part of my lexicon. I haven't grown up.
Oh, wow.
Listen, y'all need to shut the hell up.
What?
So Vicente the other day was bragging about his lexicon of words that he knows.
Whoa.
Didn't say vocabulary. Didn't say anything else. He
This
said
is off
lexicon.
script. We're going way off script right now. Lexicon?
Lexicon.
We're supposed to tell anybody about that.
This is our roundtable talk.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
okay. It's
round
like
table.
pillow talk. It's okay.
This is a safe place.
Yeah, safe space.
I need that. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Nerd.
All right, guys. Welcome to the first slightly hypoxic hot take. Today's first hot take is EMT school doesn't prepare you for the field. Thoughts?
Yeah, I feel for the most part, it just prepares you for the national. You have very strict rules of what's going on. You have to scene safety and everything like that. Especially with a lot of companies, they're running out of sniffs and stuff. You're not worried about grandma running out with a knife and stabbing you and stuff like that. So, I think there's a lot of things that, let alone splitting up the assessment. A lot of agencies, driver will go do first touch while you get a sniff. You'll get a report from a nurse, and then you guys meet up. Rather than, it seems like in school you're the one making decisions all the time, every time, and then there's two people on a rig, so you have to split up that work somehow. But it's hard coming straight out of school. It's like, well, I need to hit these things that I learned on the national, but you're not letting me because now I have to incorporate someone else into it. It's not only you. So like we were talking about earlier about working with partners and good and the bad, I think school doesn't teach you how to do that. School just teaches you how to pass the test.
I think the schools teach people like a very structured algorithm to follow for every single patient. But what they ignore is that the patients are human beings and that they're only calling for one thing, right? So they don't necessarily want that full like primary, secondary, tertiary assessment to like go through all these fucking things when all they're calling about is the fact that they're anxious, right? You don't need a head to toe on every patient because they could only be calling about like an emotional issue. They could be calling about a psychiatric issue. They could be calling about one single injury on their arm. And so you don't need to necessarily go through their hair to make sure that there's like a hematoma or something. Yeah, it's kind of unnecessary. I'm not going to do an abdominal assessment on someone who has a minor laceration somewhere else on their body, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of unnecessary, intrusive, and not what's in the best interest for the patient.
And I think one of the big things with that, one of the biggest problems with EMT school, paramedic school, whatever you want to call it, is you have a controlled environment, but you're trying to simulate an uncontrolled environment. But how do you do that? You can't really do that effectively.
Well, yeah, and let alone just the emotional standpoint, because like you're saying, it's very clinical. Like, oh, you're asking this person that is test driving what's happening to them, and you're asking them these questions. But when you're in it and someone's screaming in your face or really hurt, how do you manage that? You don't. You just have to be in there. School's not going to get you ready for that.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about previous to this was I started off in a private company who did mainly dialysis calls. I did not know what dialysis was at all. I was like, what is this? And then I start going into it. I'm like, oh, it's just a glorified oil change. They're just cleaning out their blood. Yep. But I had no idea what was going on with that. And if you don't get that weight for those dialysis nurses, they're going to kill you. Mm-hmm. And you're going to run a code on yourself. But I get it. It is very like one way in school. And like I said, just to pass the test. I don't know what else. Like, how far can you actually push that to the extent of being able to put someone in that environment? Because a lot of people don't handle it well. That's for dang sure.
So static.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But how do you change that?
It's something really hard to do. And
I know
I think they need more time in the field.
Yeah,
right?
And that's good. And like the paramedic program usually has a preceptorship, which definitely helps with that. But then you come into the point of, is it even worth it for the EMT to deal with that when they're getting paid minimum wage and putting, you know what I mean?
I think it is. So many of those EMTs like come out of school. Yeah, maybe they did a ride along, maybe they did two, right? But let's be real. I mean, how many ride alongs have we had where we've had like what, 1-2 calls?
Yeah.
Right?
A bunch.
They have no idea what the reality looks like. All they know is, okay, school tells me I need to do X, Y, and Z in the 1, 2, 3 order, right? But they don't tell you how to react to things in real time, you know? And so when there's a change in your environment and maybe your secondary assessment has to pause while you deal with like 5 family members that are screaming at you, yelling at you.
Yeah.
Or you have to take someone's you have to pick someone up and carry them out of the bathroom and they're covered in shit and they're pissing all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? How do you like parse that information? How do you strategically like position yourself to like provide the best for that patient?
Yeah.
So let's say that, you know, you have an EMT program and you do somehow implement an EMT internship or some sort of version of that. What does that EMT internship look like? Are you assigned to the same preceptor for X amount of shifts? Like what? EMT school, it's short. Like some places it's a month, maybe a month and a half. So how long do you make this internship
I know
period?
currently I believe they have to have 10 patient contacts roughly.
Yeah, but everybody, if you don't get the 10 contacts, it's just penciled.
Of course. But even before I went, we also had to do ER rotation, which I think they've gone.
ER rotations as well. And I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, because I remember I did mine at the trauma center, and that definitely gets you ready. Seeing traumas coming in and seeing how wild it is, seeing people set bones and stuff. Like, so I think at the very least, something like that would be beneficial to the EMTs to be put back into rotation. It is just at least one shift like I did at an ER.
100%.
And that would, get them ready to see the things we see, the smells we smell. I still smell one of the patients I saw in that clinical to this day. Oh, I'm a big boy, but you never really get the real smell of fat out of your nose when it's really stinky patient. It's bad.
Yeah. And to kind of jump off your point, right? More exposure as a student is going to be better. But how much do those hospital rotations prepare an EMT student for the field? You have a trauma patient coming in, that's still somewhat of a controlled environment. Yeah. But how do we get fucking Bertha out of the back of the shed to our ambulance, which is 40 feet away? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. That's true. That's what they need experiencing.
They need to get Bertha out of the shed.
That's 90% of the job.
Yeah. Especially with these schools like, oh, you have to learn the KED. I've used a KED once in the fucking 12 years I've been in the goddamn field. Yeah. And it's just like, oh.
I've only used it for inspections. That's it.
Right? It's like, oh, yeah.
I don't use a KED.
Yeah. But, you know what I mean? So it's crazy how much we do actually learn in school, but like you're saying, nothing is really practical in it. And it's crazy just to pass that test. And so I would say, probably more exposure to just different types of calls, maybe to the extent of making an ER visit or clinical shift, a 911 shift, and then even an IFT shift, just to get a span of the whole field at least. To see what everything's going. Because right now, I know we deal with the ride-alongs just for IFT stuff, just because of where with the local agency, but they don't force them to do 911. And even with me, it was if you did good, you got to go to 911. And like I went with the local fire department for mine just because I tested well, and it was just like, oh well, you should get both sides. They like try to encompass as much of the field as you can because there's going to be some bullshit like dialysis and stuff like that. But then there's also going to be those level 1 traumas that are going to be crazy, like gunshots or anything like that. Like and you're only going to get that in the 911 agency, though. Granted, I've run still alarms like that, but I'm a black cloud like no other.
I like what you're saying though with like getting the mixed experience, right? I think a lot of the EMTs should get experience on like a fire apparatus as well because they run things so much differently than just like an ambulance, whether it's like an ALS or a BLS ambulance. The engines and the truck companies, they run things completely different.
Yeah, their priorities are different for
way different, right? And so the
getting in and
pacing,
out
the way the assessment's done, the care delivered is night and day from whether it ALS, BLS, 911, IFD ambulance. It's just so far.
Yeah, and just what you learned at school is just completely different.
So you give EMTs a breadth of experiences, right? You put them on the ambulance, you put them on an engine. They get 911 experience, they get IFT experience. In paramedic school, you also have a certain amount of contacts you have to see, or a certain amount of provider impressions specifically that you have to see. Would we implement something like that for EMTs where you have to see, oh, hey, you have to see this amount of traumas, you have to see a chest pain, you have to see a respiratory distress, or is it just kind of free for all?
Ideally,
here's your shifts.
That'd be nice. I think, to be honest, it'd be almost like a preceptorship, but with just like an FTO from whatever agency they pay you with.
Yeah.
And just so they can put you through the ringer and let you drown a little bit, because I think that's a lot of the problem too. Is even with training, is it's very coddled until you're by yourself and then you're drowning and then you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I'm gonna help you here. I remember back when I was a FTO, I would do the first day. It was always like, hey, I'm gonna do everything. Mirror me, watch me, and we'll go over and we'll talk about things. Second day, half and half. And then third day, sink or swim. Go ahead.
Shit hits the fan quick.
You know what I mean? You have to back off, let them be their EMT. And yeah, you don't want anything to happen to your patient, so you're always there as a safety net. But you got to let them drown in a training situation and not right out the gates. Because we've had a lot of situations where EMT's getting a report and they're like, oh, like this is what's going on. It's like, okay, how's your patient look? What's going on? They haven't even talked to the patient yet. It's like, get your assessments going.
Yeah. They're just talking to the family.
They're just talking to the family or the nurse. They haven't even made contact yet because of how our little bubble is. It's a lot of sniffs and stuff right now.
Yeah.
Where they freak out and that just puts it on the point that they don't know what they're dealing with, because once they hear something like ALOC, like, oh no. But it's just probably grandma's sundowning because they haven't even talked to them yet.
Right.
And they're freaking out because that keyword, and it goes the same thing with dispatch. You get a call, ALOC, oh, okay, I need to send the ALS medic because it's ALOC, it's altered level of consciousness. But then you ask a little further, it's like, oh, how long has this been going on? Oh, it's been like a month. It's like, well, what was their baseline before? Well, their dementia. Okay, well, in vitals, everything good, and it ends up the patient's stable, been probably declining for about a month, but nothing severe. But it's probably just their dementia getting a little worse.
Yep.
So they're thinking it's altered, and it's like, oh, it's ALS. It's like, come on, guys. Like they're asymptomatic. That's what's going on. But because of school, like we're talking about, they just freak out and they're like, oh nope, ALS. Let's call fire. Let's do this thing. It's like, oh no, you can take grandma to the ER. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
all that's really happening is the family wants them checked out.
Yeah,
because
for the most part.
their progression isn't what they had hoped, right? And so all they want to do is have a doctor, a physician tell them, well, your grandma is not getting better. She's 90 years old, and she's going to continue to get worse, right?
Yeah.
That's all they need. And the EMTs can do that just fine.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, they freak out.
Yeah. They just, or like, I don't know about a lot of, if people are watching their local agencies, but a big one I always get, can we take this blood pressure? And it's something skyrocket. Say it's even like 180, but
So high.
so high, but nothing else is going on.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, like this seems like ALS. It's like, at least for us, we don't have a cap as long as it's asymptomatic.
Mm-hmm.
But they always think that just because the BP's high, they're symptomatic. It's like when grandma's big chilling, probably even sleeping at the time, and you're just like, no, you guys are good. Go ahead. Like,
Yeah, they're so quick to run and just turn to the
Yeah.
higher level of care when,
yeah,
when they encounter
that probably
something they
comes
haven't
back
seen
to
before.
the schooling because, like you said, we don't get the emotion side of the calls, and we just stick to the textbook. And I feel too, at least this is the old guy talking to me, is we have a big transition from people wanting to continue from EMS into fire, but now a lot of people are going to the clinical side, either for sure always just going to nurse or even PA and medical school,
Yeah.
which 5-10 years ago, 90% of the people as EMS were going to fire at some point.
Yeah.
Most of them ended up nurses and stuff as it was anyways, but the idea was going EMS or going fire. Like that was even men, women, everyone was,
Yeah.
oh, let's go fire. We have to put in our time, do this thing. But now it's almost switched where, well, I won't say 90%, but it's probably 50 and 50.
But you know what though? Do you think that's a more of a difference though because of where we are right here?
I think so.
This kind of like urban area. Because I'm sure if you go to like, I don't know, Nebraska or something,
That's
not a single one of them are going to
yeah,
medical school
that's true.
or
Well,
PA
Their
school.
systems are a lot different though too. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with maybe not so the urban area, but where we come from, the specific agency. I think that attracts a certain, I don't want to say demographic, but people with a certain interest.
Yeah.
You know, the flexibility, the call volume, right? The people that want to go into fire and who want to make EMS some sort of career, they're going to try as hard as they can to get into like, you know,
A different agency.
a different
that's true.
type of
Going to
agency.
911 side and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's always been true. But I think that at least on our like what I've always dealt with is changed drastically. But I'm old fart too, so that is what it is.
But even at our agency though, like when I started, it felt like 70% of the people wanted to go fire.
Really?
Yeah. It was a way different demographic group than what we
I
have
think a lot of it changed, and you guys worked during the time I didn't, but during COVID.
Yeah.
I think after COVID and after how crazy that all went, was people kind of switched up to like, you know what, we'd rather be in more controlled environment and stuff like that, rather than out getting COVID with everyone else and hanging out in the field. You know what I mean?
I think you can take it a step further too and extend beyond COVID. I think, you know, people realize how hard the fire department works. They put in a lot of hours, a lot of mandatory overtime, right? Maybe that's just something that people aren't attracted to anymore.
Yeah.
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 Definitely a change in generation.
There's more overtime.
Yeah.
It's just a
Well,
lot.
less money, probably even less money comparatively.
Yeah, with
15 years
inflation
ago.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's definitely a different. I know we went on a different take on this, but that is very true. That it just everything's changing, and maybe just it seems like we want the bigger paycheck, which we all do. And that's why I hopped around to so many agencies, even on the IFT side, but because I had to pay my bills. I moved out early. I had
You're
to
the
make that.
EMS hope.
Yeah,
Called the
gotta,
EMS
go
hope.
around. Hey, you weren't gonna give me my yearly raise? I'm out. See you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely a good starting point would try to be in some way help our EMTs in their school. And it's crazy because even like price wise in schooling stuff is crazy different compared to when I got in 2008. I went to trade school, paid $100 almost total, besides driving there every other day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I did clinicals, I did my ride along with 911, like, but now they like, oh, go show up at this ambulance company and they'll throw you on a rig. Like,
Yeah.
what? Then that's about it. And it's crazy. There's like no real structure with it besides like to pass the test. Like the side of like getting you in the field, there's
not.
figure it out. That's all essentially what they tell you.
But even in paramedic school, it's the same way.
Yeah,
Most of the
I
time.
know because there's a couple of people that had
I
really
agree
bad
with that.
preceptorships problems
That we
the
know
past
of,
year.
right?
Well, yeah, the past year.
but, like,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I went to a different paramedic school than Vicente, and even so, my school was really bad at placing people in internships.
Yeah.
I don't know how your school.
I didn't have that experience at the time when I went through. I feel like when I went through, being placed into internship, it was they had a pretty solid regimen for that. And definitely after I left, I have seen it fall. There's definitely difficulties with being placed into an internship all around.
Interesting. But we also went to school in different counties, right? So,
That's true, yeah.
well, different areas. And
Yeah.
my school was a lot more, I feel like more limited in where it could place people versus your school.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I'd say I agree with that. I don't think my school, speaking now, ever had the extent of your issues, but they definitely do have trouble finding spots, particularly for private students, right? You come in with the fire department, you're basically guaranteed some sort of
Oh,
spot,
yeah.
whether it's
Yeah,
with your
absolutely.
agency or,
Yeah.
I don't know, one of your sister fire departments.
Yeah,
But
because they'll take you in a heartbeat.
privates, they're like, oh, well,
You're on your own.
we'll throw you in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious, how much did you have to pay for EMT school when you went through?
My EMT school, when I went through a community college. So it was however much the credits cost at
It's
the
usually
time.
like 35, or I'm from what I remember, like $35 a credit.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever,
something like that, 35, 36.
Yeah.
And so I think it ended up being like $400
Damn.
for uniforms, credits, all that.
You had uniforms, that sucks.
Yeah, we had to wear uniforms.
We had a polo, but we didn't have uniforms.
Well, they were polos, but they made us
okay.
wear them every day.
Oh, okay.
And
We
like,
just had to use them if we were representing. So if we were out in the
no,
field.
they made us
or-
wear them every day in class and during lab, and that was the expectation. We were told like, well, when you get to the industry, you're going to be wearing a uniform every shift, right? And so this is to like prepare you for that, and they want you to like take pride in your uniform and
Yeah.
take care of it and make
Well,
it look
that's a
appropriate.
good talking point there.
Yeah,
that's one that's wild for me right now with our like different agencies I see and stuff allowing that. I'm like,
Uniforms?
uniforms,
Yeah.
yeah. Because even me, like, it's like when I came to where we're at, I had a beard and everything, and then they weren't doing uniforms for dispatch, which I was like, cool, I could be lazy and relax. And then I got a uniform. I'm like, oh, now I have to shave and button up, and everyone's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, you have to respect the uniform. Like, that's what we got taught in school.
Yeah.
But now, like, I just see we're having issues with hats and all crazy kinds of stuff, and it's crazy how people. Yeah, I think that's going to be our hot take for today.
All right, guys, thanks for watching the first episode of Slightly Hypoxic. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell as well for more episodes. Also visit slightlyhypoxic.com to check out our social medias. We got a bunch of good videos for you coming soon. We got some React videos. Paul's nudes as well are coming soon.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Cue the
it's on
outro.
Feet Finder, though.
Goddamn toe pain.